Coming up, arrests and citations in New Concord are on the rise.
Muskingum students are told to find new roommates or pay.
And the Crusaders capitalize on too many missed shots by the Muskies in Wednesday night's OAC showdown at the Rec Center.
Good evening, I'm Chad Holmes.
And I'm Andrew Dunlap. Tonight's top story. The New Concord Police Department, it has been especially active in the first part of 2016. If you're driving down Main Street in New Concord, you may want to pay extra attention to your speedometer. New Concord Police Department is cracking down on traffic violations after many residents have voiced concerns of disregard for speed limits and stop signs. The department has handed out 47 tickets and citations for the month of January compared to 18 just a year ago. New Concord Police Chief Trevor Hayes says officers will be keeping a closer eye on traffic lights and speeds.
We're still giving plenty of warnings as well, so we're not just hammering everything that we see and writing citations. We are trying to be fair as we can, but we are out there to enforce it, make sure everybody slows down, stops for red lights, and then ultimately drive safely.
Hayes says it's especially important to be more cautious while driving during the winter months with potentially icy and snowy road conditions. He says many of the traffic violations don't come from residents of New Concord, but by passing traffic between Cambridge and Zanesville.
Traffic citations aren't the only increase the New Concord Police Department is seeing. We first told you last week about the increase in drug activities in the village. Police Chief Trevor Hayes reports the total number of arrests and citations have nearly doubled since January 2015. There have been a total of 60 arrests and citations in 2016 compared to 27 this time last year. There have also been 254 calls for service in 2016 as compared to 177 a year ago.
After having a new officer resign, the New Concord Police Department has promoted Officer Dakota Tracy to the full-time position. Taking his part-time spot will be Auxiliary Officer Jeff Dawson. The department still needs to fill several auxiliary positions and is looking for qualified candidates. Volunteers must minimally be certified Peace Corps officers. The department requires its auxiliary officers to put in 8 hours each month in uniform.
Student Senate is responsible for how the funds are distributed from students' activity fees. Requests are made through the Finance Committee, which is comprised of the Executive Board and class treasurers. There are guidelines that organizations have to meet to be granted funding. If a proposal is denied, the organization can speak to the Executive Board about issues and then revise and resubmit the proposal.
Coming fall 2016, Muskingum will be adding 2 more majors and 2 minors to the curriculum. One in particular, athletic communication. Students are asked to work with different sports teams. The major pulls from communication and media department classes and writing sports for the Black and Magenta. Sports Information Director Tom Cadell explains why the major is an important addition.
Because it's going to help position them to be a top-notch candidate when they graduate from Muskingum if they want to work in college athletics or professional sports or amateur sports, anything in the sports industry.
Students living in the campus dorm rooms had until the first week of February to fill any roommate vacancies. Anyone who couldn't find a replacement was charged for their other half of their room. Many students were frustrated with being given such a short amount of time to find a new roommate, but Student Life Coordinator Devin Cecil stated that the process is standard for most universities and is intended to maintain fairness.
Coming up, students celebrate Fat Tuesday French style.
And later, we'll look at what 2 Muskingum radio DJs have in store for Valentine's Day. Stay tuned.
We have the music. We have the cameras. We have the talent. Orbit Media, where the magic happens.
On the story. On the quad. on the scene. This is the Muskie Daily.
Muskies gathered in the lobby of Finney Hall Tuesday to celebrate Mardi Gras with their beloved professor one last time. At the event, hosted by the French Club, students could play games, eat food, and wear masks of all shapes and sizes to commemorate the French take on Fat Tuesday. For Associate Professor of French and advisor of the French Club, Jean Morris, Tuesday's celebration was bittersweet.
I'm kind of sad, especially like when I'm around students and I'm thinking, oh well, this is not going to be part of my life anymore. I might pick up some teaching at some point, but it won't be the same as being at Muskingum and getting to know people so well because you work with them, year after year.
A Muskingum University instructor of theater is receiving high praise from a Columbus theater group. The Theater Roundtable Association has selected Muskingum's Jimmy Bohr, recipient of the group's Excellence in Directing Award, for his directing contributions to the musical Yank. The Evolution Theater Company has won 4 awards and 7 total nominations for the musical. Bohr says he was surprised just by the nominations alone based off the show's popularity compared to larger-known musicals like Wicked.
Eclectic DJs take over WMCO on Sunday nights throughout the semester. They get to bring their own music and give listeners the chance to hear something different. This Sunday, Sandra Schroer, Assistant Professor of Sociology, and Scott Rodden are having a special Valentine's Day show. Schroer and Rodden will take listeners through the journey of a relationship with their music. They will create a scenario where they are telling the story of a couple with songs about all the stages of a relationship. You can tune into WMCO on February 14th from 6 in the evening until 8 to hear the Valentine's Day show.
The Vagina Monologues will be hosted at Muskingum's very own Kelly Coffee House on February 19th and 20th. Stacey Allen, the Director of Greek Life, and Jessica Lee Edge, Coordinator of Student Involvement, collaborated to produce, direct, and perform for the production. The doors open to the show at 6:30 and the production begins at 7:30. The Muskingum Valley Symphonic Winds will be performing their second concert of the season called Bookmarks for Japan this Valentine's Day at 3 in Brown Chapel. The group will be performing 3 out of 6 original works by Julie Gilroy and songs from music based from countries in the Far East, including Japan, China, and Korea. The concert is free to students who show their ID and is open to the general public. Plenty of Valentine's Day action is happening in New Concord this weekend. Coming up after the break, our own Matt Triola and Ari No take a minute to review their top-ranked film of the week. Stick around.
This is Will Mullins, and I want to encourage you to watch Chapel on Orbit TV Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. Thanks.
Find out what decisions are being made at Student Senate that could affect your campus organization by tuning into Orbit TV on Tuesdays at 11 in the evening, and again on Wednesday through Sunday at 10 in the morning and 6 and 11 in the evening.
Hey guys, it's Tree.
I'm DJ Ace.
And this is 1 Minute Review.
Today's topic, the Suicide Squad trailer.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get the timer ready.
We are going to do that to prove that's 1 minute.
It's gonna be
right now.
So to top things off, I really loved it. Besides that, I really like the Joker scenes a lot, and the scene where he's with all the knives around him and everything. I also, the Joker left.
Kill himself on those knives.
He's not. But I also like the colors a lot. Did you like the colors? Like
Absolutely, psychedelic.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's like your favorite moment?
Oh yeah, Jack Courtney. Captain Boomerang. Did the scene where he's like hiding behind the car. Pops open the can of something.
Something, we don't know what it is.
What's beautiful about it is the music totally stops.
Yeah. Cause like the music's so serious at the beginning, then like it gets more like epic and stuff, and then it like stops for a second just for his gear. Yeah.
But what I love about this trailer is also that we still have no idea what's going on.
Right, who's the main guy? I mean the main villain, I should say. Who's the main villain? Not at all. You can't beat the Joker. Why would?
Will Smith, dead shot.
It's definitely a dead shot. Although he looks like the protagonist, but that's.
No, he is the protagonist. I'm just saying he's great.
Right.
And that's 1 minute. Boom. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week.
See you later.
Up next on the Muskie Daily, a Muskingum lacrosse standout is back on the turf after an injury. And we'll see how the men's basketball team matched up in the OAC Wednesday night when the Capital Crusaders came to New Concord.
We have the music. We have the cameras. We have the talent. Orbit Media, where the magic happens.
On the story. On the quad. On the scene. This is the Muskie Daily.
Muskies, the cold weather isn't leaving anytime soon. Tonight we're looking at a low of 9 degrees while being partly cloudy overnight. The snow will be back again tomorrow with a 30% chance and a high of 26 degrees. And Friday night will be blistering cold with the temperature dipping all the way down to 4 degrees. Now here's a look at your extended forecast. Welcome back to the Muskie Daily. Here's a look at your Muskie sports. We begin over in the Rec Center where Jarrell Marsh and the Muskie Wen were back at it Wednesday night, taking on OAC rival Capital at home. The Muskies took an early advantage with the blacked out crowd behind them, taking a 44-37 lead into the halftime break, led by strong defense like this huge block from Josh Keys. The teams went back and forth in the second half, and Marsh took flight, going to the rim off the cut for the slam. Later on, Marsh goes to the rack again for another emphatic dunk, trying to keep the Muskies in it. But the Crusaders were too much for the Muskies as the men fell 83-78. The Muskie women fell to nationally ranked Capital on the road last night, 71-53. Haley Stocker led the Muskies with 14 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 blocks on the night, while Alexandra Carson added 9 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. Capital was led by Nina Napolitano, who had a game-high 17 points, along with 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. The Muskies are now 5-16 on the season with a 1-13 record in the OAC. Their next obstacle will be a road challenge at Ohio Northern on Saturday. Tip-off is slated for 3. The women's lacrosse season is just around the corner, but the team is already battling through injuries in the latter portion of the offseason. Sophomore midfielder Ashley Adams is fighting her way back from an injury to the trapezius muscle in her neck that she suffered toward the end of January.
It initially was pretty severe. I could not move my head in any direction. Now I have about 85% of my movement back, so I'm recovering a lot quicker than I thought I would.
Adams is now back at practice preparing for the start of the season with her teammates. The Muskies kick off their season on February 27th at home against Thomas More. We'll be right back after the break with a look at what's happening on campus this week. You're watching the Muskie Daily.
This is Will Mullins, and I want to encourage you to watch Chapel on Orbit TV Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. Thanks.
Find out what decisions are being made at Student Senate that could affect your campus organization by tuning into Orbit TV on Tuesdays at 11 in the evening, and again on Wednesday through Sunday at 10 in the morning and 6 and 11 in the evening.
That's going to do it for us here on the Muskie Daily. Thanks for tuning in.
Stay up to date on the latest news over the weekend by picking up a copy of the Black and Magenta and by following us on social media. Have a good night.